Our former head coach, you mentioned him, Kevin Stefanski. Our former quarterback, Baker Mayfield, kind of at it via social media. This is from Orlando Ledbetter, who is a Falcons beat reporter. He just said Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. Shedeur Sanders closed out last season with 7 starts. Baker Mayfield responded, failed is quite a reach, pal. Still waiting on a text/call from the coach after I got shipped out like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Longtime Browns beat reporter Tony Grossi with his read of Stefanski and Mayfield.
What do you make of this beef between Mayfield and Stefanski and Baker trying to drum up the old Michael Jordan looking for motivation?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Baker being Baker. I think the Browns are still in his head, which is interesting after all he's been through since he left here. And I think it's misguided because go back and retrace the origin of the Deshaun Watson trade. Andrew Berry said it was a 6-month odyssey, which takes you to November of 21 when Baker was playing. They were looking to replace him, not Kevin Stefanski. He was trying to win games. So I think his outrage is misguided, and it's a bit babyish.
Important note here, Fred. Both Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield have under 500 records without each other. Neither has had much success.
Yeah, I was there. I had a kind of a front row seat, and I see a lot of people coming out now with different things, but this is my take. After the Browns played the Steelers in Pittsburgh, I think it was a Thursday night game. It was the next to the last season that he was here. I think it was 2021. He was upset. He got sacked like 9 times. James Hudson was in at right tackle, and I think T.J. Watt had 4 or 5 sacks. And he called out the coach that he should have had more help. They should have done different things, to protect him. And then he went on and said, we all knew he had a shoulder issue. He said, I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm getting surgery this week or whenever. I'm not going to play next week. I don't think he had mentioned that. I don't think he had said anything to the team. I felt, just in my mind, when I heard him say that, he's done here. Because Kevin Stefanski or maybe even Andrew Berry are not going to publicly get into it. They're just going to move on. When a player calls them or throws them under the bus for coaching or whatever, now, I didn't know Stefanski as well as I do now, but when he's asked that in Atlanta, he's going to say, I understand your question, Dave, and he's going to go on and say, Baker's a great guy, or whatever. But with that said, that's what I think sent in motion to turn over every stone to see what they could do to replace him. Tony mentioned they had been researching the Watson situation back in November. And I think they said, we're going to go all in to get him. If we don't get him, we'll deal with Baker at that time. I still think if Watson, when he turned the Browns down, and if Mayfield wouldn't have demanded to be traded immediately, they'd have worked something out, whether it's a big extension or something, to stay here, because he went off on a rant, and at the same time, Atlanta was talking to him, and you didn't see Matt Ryan throw a hissy fit. They didn't get him. They could have kept Ryan. They decided to move on too. But I think that's when it was all decided, pretty much, is that when Mayfield threw them all under the bus, by saying, he didn't get enough help and he didn't, he's going to go have surgery or whatever he's going to do.